Hello, in this video I want to let you guys know that I'm putting Phantom packages together like this and setting them up and getting them ready for you. And so all you have to do is when you receive it, just go ahead and fly. In this case I did a Phantom 2 with Zenmuse gimbal and the light bridge with iPad and the Futaba 14 SG. If you check on this video right over here that I'm putting, you'll see that's my setup for analog. I could go ahead and do those packages also, put them together for you so they could be ready to fly. So all the links will be in the video description also. So if you decide to go with the Phantom 2 and the light bridge, this is the setup that I'm going to be showing now, how to plug everything together. And if you decide to go with the analog setup, like I mentioned in that video above, you could go ahead and see that, and I'll be more than glad to open up the Phantom and set up everything for you, so once you get it, it's just ready to fly. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with the radio right over here. I'm gonna explain to you, for the person that's receiving this, what all the switches do. The only switch you're gonna be using is this one right over here up top. All the way up top is GPS, on the middle is attitude mode, and all the way down is if you run into any trouble, if your home spot has been completely marked, you did everything that the manual says, the Phantom will come back to the spot where you are. And once you see it above you, you could go ahead and flip it back to GPS and you could regain control. Or if you leave it down, you could go ahead and just watch the Phantom land by itself. But if you're scared of that, you could just regain control by putting back into GPS mode. That's the switch SE on the radio right over here. Now with your radio, I went ahead and put 2 timers on it. I put a 9-minute and 30-second timer and a 7-minute and 30-second timer. All you have to do is just once you start flying, when you bring the throttle up, you could see the timer will start counting down. If you ever made that by mistake or anything like that, you didn't want the timer to start, you could go ahead and bring it down. And this switch right over here, the SH switch, go like this. It goes back, it's spring loaded. Well, that switch, what it does is resets your timer once again right over here. So we'll see what switch we decide to go with. I'm gonna show you how to mount the light bridge ground station. As you can see right over here, I've gone ahead and put this mount that comes with the light bridge right over here. You could go to put it away, you could tilt it down, or when you're gonna go ahead and use it, you could put it up. It depends what you're gonna do, of course. This is the screw that comes with it. So you go ahead and unscrew it. You see the hole right over here. I put it in right in there and just start threading it. You have to move this like this up and down so the threads could work correctly. Not the threads, but so the light bridge could be put on the way you want it to be put on. I put it facing down a little bit like this. Why? Because when you grab the remote, you're gonna be like this, so the antennas have to be pointing up. It'll be perfect like this. So you could go ahead and do the same, or you could put it whichever way you want. In order for this to fully adjust, to be tight, it doesn't have to be 100% tight, but you move the ground unit like this up and down. You screw it all the way to the that you want, and then like this, and then it should be just like that. Now to mount the iPad, this is the Hitachi mount that I recommend for any iPad. I recommend you just get the iPad mini because the iPad Air would be a little bit on the big side, but you could still get the iPad Air. As you can see, this ball right over here, the old iPhone holder was here, so I just unscrewed it and you just put it right in here. Very simple, being always careful. Now it's in there, and you go ahead and just screw it in. And you put it to as tight as you would like. This right over here, this is the cover for it. Make sure you always put this cover back, because if not, it will lose its elasticity, as you see there. It's just to protect it, but I always recommend always put it back. So you can see right there, the iPad is ready to be put on. So we go ahead, make sure the surface is clean. Put it right in here, and then you see this lever right here, you put it all the way to the front, and then the iPad is firmly and secure, as you can see right there. You could go ahead and literally carry the radio with it, so it's nice and firm and secure in there. So next thing to do is to hook up the cables. The nice thing about the light bridge is it only has two cables. The USB, this is my USB, is black. Yours comes with your iPad, will be white. And this goes to the back of the radio, and this to the ground station right here. So all you have to do for this is you plug it in, the black cord, to where it says control in. Done. That's it. And now this, you go into the back of the trainer and you push it in. As you can tell, the radio powered on. So right over here you're gonna see the blue light blinking. That means it's looking for the radio frequency, but once you switch on the radio, it'll turn off the radio frequency. This is very important for the light bridge. You cannot be having the radio transmit 2.4, because this transmits 2.4 and it'll interfere. So make sure you plug it in to the back like I showed right over here, and then you turn on the radio. Okay. Next, the USB cord goes to the light bridge, facing the USB symbol facing down, and the other way, the other side goes, as you all know, to the iPad mini. That's it, and you're all set to fly there. Very simple setup, very simple. Okay, and now let's talk about the Phantom. Right over here, I just wanted to remind you guys that on the flight video that you saw previously, I had calibrated the compass, but it's very important that you calibrate the compass when you're switching time zones. On the switch that I have on this radio is the SE switch. You flick the switch like that about 7 times and then all the way up, and you're gonna see the back legs turn a solid color, I believe is yellow, and then you go ahead. You could rotate your whole body 360, or you could rotate the Phantom 360 until it completes a full circle. It'll be green light, and then you hold it vertically, and then you could do your whole body, or you could go ahead and just do it yourself like this until the back legs turn green again, and that completes the compass calibration. It's very important you do this, because if you don't, you could have a flyaway. Okay. Next thing to do is make sure you never take off when you don't have more than 6 or 7 satellites. On the iPad, it'll tell you the satellite count all the way to the top right. Never take off before you have a complete home lock and at least 6 or 7 satellites. Next thing, to install the propellers. Everybody knows how to do this, but for the new people, the gray goes on the gray, and the black goes in the black, and all you have to do is just adjust the propellers to the lock position. You see in the propellers it has lock and unlock. Go like this, and that one's locked and that one's locked. That's it. So the gray go like this, and you can see they're marked, and the black go like this, and you see they're marked. And this is the front of the Phantom. And that's what I wanted to talk about. What else is on the list? How to turn on the Phantom motors. Well, I showed in the video while I was flying it. All you have to do is just go down like this, and that'll turn on the motors on the sticks. You bring them towards each other, but I'll show you how to do that in a second also. Oh yeah, when you're installing the battery, when you're taking out the battery and installing the battery, it's a little bit hard because it secures really well. But you see this cable right over here? This is the antenna cable for the light bridge. Make sure it's out of the way, and you're not gonna pinch it between here and the battery. Please, when you take it out and when you put it on, make sure the light bridge cable antenna, it's out of the way. Also, regarding the GoPro, make sure the GoPro Wi-Fi is off. But there's this little black button. You hold it 3 seconds to turn it on. You're gonna see a blue light blinking. If the blue light is blinking, that means that the Wi-Fi is on. To turn it off, you hold that button another 3 seconds and make sure the blue light is off. If it's on, it's gonna interfere and it's gonna cause confusion. How to record in a GoPro? Obviously, to turn it on, you press this button right over here on the front of the GoPro. You just click it once and you see that the GoPro will do that sound. That means it's on. To record video, you see the red button right over here. You press that button, that starts recording the video. I'm saying all this for the very new people that I know sometimes I get comments with all these basic questions, and that's good to ask questions. Now, removing the SD card from the GoPro. I know the light bridge has this HDMI cable. You have to be very careful with this cable. You just remove the cable and you remove the SD card, and when you want to put it, you do the same thing but reverse. Okay, just be really careful. We're gonna put in on the HDMI. Once it clicks, it's firmly in place. All right, now let's see. We'll go ahead and power the Phantom. Everybody knows how to power the Phantom. There's a button right over here on the back. But first of all, we have to power the light bridge. You turn it on just like the Phantom. You go ahead and press it once and then hold it the second time. Once you hear that little sound, that means it's on, and you could see the battery meter there also. Now let's turn on the Phantom. It's the same way. Let's go ahead and do that. Just get the propellers out of the way, press it once and then hold it the second time until you hear the sound. There you go. The camera does all this stuff. Do not move the Phantom while it's doing all that stuff, because if you do, you could mess up the Zenmuse gimbal, or you're just gonna have to turn it on and turn it back on again. Alright, now that everything is hooked up, you go ahead and you unlock your iPad, and then you click on, you tab on the light bridge application, and as you can see, there's no video. Why? A lot of people forget to turn on the GoPro camera. So very gently, we go ahead and turn on the GoPro camera. You could tell it's off because the red light is on. That means the battery of the GoPro is being charged. So we'll go ahead and press it gently. Now that the camera's on, there's the video right over there. Okay? So for the light bridge, let's just go over really quick the different modes. This right over here up top says GPS. When you switch this here down, this switch that I was talking about earlier, now it says attitude, it says ATT, and all the way down is failsafe. And as you can see, the backlights will blink yellow when it's on failsafe mode. Okay, so that's your switch for that. The tilt switch that I was talking about is this one right over here. You can see how it tilts all the way down. Okay, next thing on the menu here, the battery percentage is right over here. It says 49%. You might not be able to see all these things. I'll get a screenshot of it and I'll go ahead and put it on the video also. But I'm just gonna go over it. 49%, 100%, that's the light bridge reception for the video. The remote is 100%. It has a little picture of a remote. and the satellites, it tells you the number of satellites. Right now we're on 0 because we're indoors. The other stuff on the screen is the GoPro stuff. You see the little camera charging there, the little battery charging. That's showing you that the camera of the GoPro is being charged. When the GoPro is recording, there will be a little red camera instead of that white one. It'll turn red, showing you that it's recording. At the bottom, you see you have your height, you have your distance, how far you are from the point you took off. You have your speed, how fast you're going, and your vertical speed. That means how fast you're going down and how fast you're climbing. That's VS, vertical speed, how fast you're going up or down with the Phantom. And your horizon speed is the horizon, how fast you're going on the horizon, like this. So that's pretty much it with this Phantom build. Everything's working as you saw in the video. I flew it this morning. So I just wanted to let you guys know that if you have any other questions, please let me know on my Facebook page. If you want me to either put a setup of a light bridge, I'll be more than glad to, or an analog setup like I've showed in my other video that I showed earlier, that I put a link to so you guys could see my analog setup, which is immersion RC 5.8, 600 milliwatts, VTX, all that stuff. Either goggles or FPV monitor, I'll be more than glad to put it all together for you. So all you guys have to do is just get it and be ready to fly. Well, thanks again, and you guys have a very nice day.